What's going on, swim fans? Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday, and in today's video we're talking about nutrition, specifically how to stop feeling hungry all the time after you swim, and also how to improve your performance and health for swimmers. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome to My Swim Pro, where we share the latest and greatest to help you improve your performance and health both in and out of the water, nutrition included. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let me know in the comments what your favorite swimming snack is. I want to hear it. Let me know in the comments. Now let's talk about the thing that's on our minds right now. It's food. If you're like me and you swim, it's on your mind all the time. You can eat a ton. It doesn't mean you should eat a ton. Now let's think about why is that? Why do we always feel so hungry? Now it's important to consider what happens to our bodies when we swim. If we break it down, and by the way, I did a Whiteboard Wednesday on what happens to your body when you swim. Check it out, linked in the description below. But what's happening is you get a lot of muscle engagement, right? You're using all of your muscles to move through the water, this medium that is 800 times more resistive than air. It is serious work to cut through the water, and that's why you're using a lot of muscles. You're also engaging your aerobic and anaerobic system. So because basically your body is just firing on all cylinders, you're increasing your metabolism, and therefore you're getting hungry. You're also getting dehydrated. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize you sweat when you're in the water. So you're basically getting dehydrated, you're using all of your muscles, all these energy systems are firing, your body's putting in the work, and therefore you're getting hungry. Now, why does nutrition matter? So we want to fuel the body, obviously, so that we don't feel hungry, we don't feel dehydrated. But beyond that, nutrition fuels the body for before, during, and after a competition, a workout. It's not about eating after you swim or after you lift weights or at night or at dinner or lunch. It doesn't really matter. You need to be fueling your body all the time, and you have to make sure you're supplying those energy systems and your muscles with the right fuel for performance. And remember, being hungry is not the same as being dehydrated. That's why it's important that you're always fueling your body, both with liquids as well as with real food all the time. In this video, we're gonna talk about that. Let's talk about some different food challenges that we have. So we know that we're hungry all the time as swimmers. Why is this, and why does it matter to make sure that we're fueling the body with the right things? Three main reasons, and we've all experienced these. The first one is that heavy stomach feeling that you have if you eat a lot before you try and work out or you try and swim. This is true for any kind of physical activity. It's really difficult to eat a ton of food, no matter what the food is. It can be really good for you, really nutritious, but if you eat too much of it, you're gonna have this heavy stomach feeling. And a lot of times we go to carbs before we do any kind of a workout. That might be oatmeal, toast, a banana. And so eating a little bit of this is great, but you can only eat a little bit of this because you're gonna feel heavy if you eat any more. And so to combat feeling heavy, what we often do, and what a lot of people do, is you train or compete fasted, meaning you don't eat for hours at a time. And the reason why that doesn't work is because you might feel okay in the beginning, but after 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, depending on what you're doing, competition or a workout, you start to get hungry again. And you don't have the energy, you don't have the fuel to push your body into performance mode because you simply don't have anything to go off of because you were fasting that entire time and you don't have any fuel to push your body. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is simply the type of energy that you're putting into your body. So for example, if you're taking down sports drinks, gels, energy bars, any of these things, a lot of these are filled with sugar. These are fast carbs. So what happens is you have this inconsistent energy. So you take in the sports drink, you feel really good, but then you have like this incredible high, and then you have this low. We have a graph here. I'm going to talk about what you can imagine. The blue here is something that is the fast carb. You're going to get that spike up in glucose, and then it's going to die down. You want something more consistent. So that's another problem that you have, and that's why you feel hungry, because you feel good in the beginning and then you feel bad later. The third is body composition. So this is important for all those fitness swimmers, especially out there, because we're trying to be lean and mean, and you want to fuel to be fit. And so what happens is when you eat, these carbs that we're used to doing, which is totally fine, and you need to eat people, what's happening is you're not putting yourself in a metabolic state to burn the most calories because you have this inconsistency in your blood sugar. And so as a result, you end up snacking. You end up eating when you don't really need to eat. It's 8 o'clock at night. You're about to go to bed and you're just so hungry. sometimes it makes sense to eat, but that means you probably didn't fuel enough earlier in the day. It might mean you're dehydrated. And so at the end of the day, we want to be really consistent with what you're putting into your body. So how do we fix this? How do we fix this? I want to thank today's video sponsor, UCAN. Yes, UCAN, link in the description below. This is sustained energy. We're going to talk about this. We're not going to get too deep into the science, but basically it's a complex carb that doesn't spike your blood sugar. Because remember, we want to have consistent energy all the way through. We don't want to have all this energy and then be dead and then feel really hungry and then we snack and we have bad habits. We want to have this consistent carb load. And this is a patented low glycemic, and this was actually originally developed for medical use. For patients, help them go to sleep. There's a lot of interesting things about this. This is called SuperStarch. And so that is the components of the UCAN energy. And this is actually derived from cornstarch. And here I have this beautiful molecular diagram. If you guys like my molecular diagram skills, make sure you give this video a big like for me drawing that out. And so this SuperStarch gives you this sustained energy. Now, I did mention the graph and having that spike. So if we look at the graph, what do we have here? We have time in minutes. So if you think about the origin point being, when you start your workout or when you first fuel yourself up, whatever it is, and then maybe you have 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours. Maybe you're in a competition and you want to be fueled for like 4 or 5 hours. So that's what this is. This is time on the x-axis. And on the y-axis, we have glucose. This is the fuel for the body, right? Now we have fuel for the body on the y and time on the x-axis. So what we have here is we have 3 inputs. The first I'll start with is actually at the bottom. It's called water. This is a water-based, we talked about sports drinks, things like that. This is kind of our neutral. This is our neutral, if you just have water, you're gonna be hydrated, which is great. Totally need to be hydrated. But that's kind of about it. Now, oftentimes we look to something else to supplement just being hydrated, so we actually get that fuel, the glucose. Now, we have maltodextrin. This is the fast carb we were talking about. And as you can see, this blue spike, we have all of this glucose right in the beginning, which is awesome. We feel like $1,000,000, all this fast energy, and then we crash. And that's not good. That's why we feel hungry, we have weaker performance, and that's not good. And then we have our SuperStarch. And here comes SuperStarch, giving us this nice, consistent release into the body. Now, if you want to get really fancy in terms of math, if you take the area under the curve, take the integral of these functions, and actually what you don't want is you don't want a massive volume at the beginning. You want that consistent progression. And actually the volume of SuperStarch, the area under the curve can be much larger if you get that sustained effect, rather than all of a sudden this really high amplitude and then a severe drop and that crash. And the psychology is actually much worse because when you feel like you're hungry and you feel like you don't have the energy, it feels worse than it really is, which causes you to overeat, to overdo things that you don't really need to do. So the physiological and the psychology behind this, they kind of amplify why SuperStarch, and taking care of your body in this particular way is super, super important. So if you guys are interested in learning more about SuperStarch and UCAN, it's something that, the elite athletes like Michael Andrew use. I actually did an interview with him where we talk about this in more detail. I also did an unboxing of all the amazing UCAN products that you can get, including something I have with me right here like that. I pulled that out of my pocket. This is a UCAN energy bar. There are, protein and carbs and all of these great tools that you can use to fuel your performance. I did an unboxing video with all of this, linked in the description below. Make sure you check it out and let us know in the comments what questions you have. And finally, just remember that you need to fuel your body before, during, and after. So if you take nothing away from this video besides these awesome products that you should totally buy and check out, you want to make sure that you're fueling your body all the time so that way you don't have the munchies, you can stop that hunger, and make sure you're putting the right fuel into your body. This is also keto friendly, low carb friendly. A point on the keto and the fasting, just a personal experience of me using these products. A few months ago it was Ramadan and I was fasting for like 15 hours a day. And so every day I'm not eating or drinking, but when I was after the workout, I would fuel my body with this stuff. And let me tell you, I was able to go like 15 hours and not feel hungry. I mean, I'm fasting during pretty much the summer and the spring, and these are long days. and I wasn't even hungry, and I'm still working out just like I normally do. So I've had personal experience using this. Check out the interview with Michael Andrew, elite swimmer world champion, linked all in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, really appreciate the love with a subscribe, and make sure you connect with us on all of our different social media. My Swim Pro, we're here to help you take your swimming to the next level, swim faster and smarter than ever before. So thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. We'll see you guys later, and happy swimming.